Alright, I'm just going to record a quick flight, start to finish, and just a whole pre-flight, basically what I want to get done before I start flying anytime. So, quick pre-flight, we're going to check all our propellers, motors, make sure everything's mounted, everything's secure. First check, we're going to do a quick balance check, make sure she feels okay. Balance is key, so we do a quick balance check, make sure she feels pretty good. She's a little nose heavy, a little heavy on the right, but I think it's within tolerance. We'll know when we get in the air. So we do all that, we check all our antennas, make sure everything's secure, everything's here. Alright, the first thing we're going to do is we'll power on the GoPro on the front of the camera, and we're going to plug in the gimbal. That's step one. Okay, once we get the gimbal programmed, we get that up and running and the gimbal's working fine, then what we do is we're going to power up the system and get a good GPS lock before we fly. You want to make sure that your system has a good GPS lock, and everything's good to go there. So we got a flash in yellow, we want a flash in green before we fly. Won't let us arm until we got a flash in green. So now that that's done, we're going to get our headphones up and running. We're going to turn on our control panel, and we're going to plug in our telemetry. So telemetry's plugged in. Click OK there. That should be set, and we can click connect. That'll get us all GPSed up. What we want to do is make sure the GPS for us is on. Okay, there we go. Alright, now we're in stabilize, and we have a flashing green. We're going to turn on our monitor, and we got no signal. Error number 1. So we forgot that we haven't plugged in our transmitter yet. We're going to check polarity. We're always going to check polarity, black on top. These things line up right, so if you reverse your polarity, you're going to be screwed. So it only goes in one way. Alright, we should be transmitting now. We turn on our monitor, and we got good solid view there. Okay. GoPro battery indicator, we got all kinds of stuff going on. We can zoom in on this a little bit. We're in stabilize. We check all our switches, we check our gimbal power, make sure the camera's moving. Camera's moving well. We got 7 satellites. We got a high GPS count. What we want to do is just I'm going to click OK. Raise the volume. And we should be ready to fly. Just do another quick walk around. It's a little breezy today, so it's going to be a little squirrely. We're going to stay low. So what we're going to do is we press our arm button. Okay. Okay. Just checking the volume. And everything should be good. We're looking at everything here. We should be ready to rock and roll. So what we're going to do now is we're going to armor. And she's armed. We're ready to fly. One thing we have not done is we want to start recording. Alright, we're recording. We want to shut our headlights off. We're recording now. Alright. And everything should be good to go. So let's arm up again. We're filming. We're armed again. Everything still looks good. Let's just take a step back. And we got motors spinning. Alright. So we're in altitude hold right now. She's very stable, as you can see. Very smooth. We'll click her down to loiter. She's loitering now. She should hold her GPS position. Just like that. Hold an altitude. Very smooth, you can see. So, let's turn her towards us. Nice and steady so we get a good view of her. And let's check our lights. There's our headlights. Very nice. And we can move around. Do what we want to do. There's us on the camera. But as you can see, she's pretty steady. As she fights the wind, she makes a little more noise. And she flies very nice. Right? It's all about balance. Here we are filming each other. So, that's about it. Let's say we wanted to land right here. Where we took off. What we're going to do is we'll bring her over here. And you feel the wind. So what we're going to do is put her in auto land, and you'll see how that works. And she's landing. She'll just take it right down. And I disarm her. And that's that. Nice, smooth, successful flight. Headlights, everything's off. We're disarmed. We put our switches back. And there we are. All set. Now, once we're done, what we can do is quickly just shut off our monitor, shut off my remote, disconnect. Then I come over here. The first thing that we do is unplug the gimbal, stop recording, and we can power down the GoPro. Whoops. Power down the GoPro. Power down our video transmitter. What I like to do, you hit this little button until it's flashing. We start getting some beeping lights, and then we disconnect our main flight battery, which is very stiff, which I like because I don't need that coming apart when we're doing it. And that's it. That's a quick, successful flight. And that is all she wrote. Then we can come over here. Everything's turned off. We check all our switches. We can get out of that mode. Turn that off. And that's all she wrote.